Hi again. Philip has been talking about cartoonizing and creating some artifacts, and we're going to continue talking about some additional subjects here today. So let's get started. And we've got a nice looking lion here. He's a uh, wonderful animal. I am definitely a cat person, trapped in a dog themed paint program. But, anyways, we're going to do some artifacts today, and we've talked already about using the under the noise filter, using the bilateral filter to create some simple cartoonizing effects, such as this, using multiple frequencies to really push that to an extreme cartoon type style effect and that sort of thing. But there's more we can do with this. Philip also talked about using the adaptive threshold filter. And let's see, let's say we have our source image here, and we use that to adjust adaptive threshold, and we can use that to try to extract some edges out of that image, which is great. But there is a filter very similar to this that we've had for quite a while, and it works slightly differently, but it is conceptually very similar or almost the same. The adaptive threshold filter works by breaking the image into tiles and doing a threshold on each of those tiles and interpolating between those. But we have another filter that does the same thing, although it's used for artistic type effects. It is under the artistic menu and it's called Woodcut. And as you can see, it does something very similar. In fact, if we put levels to 1, we'd get almost exactly the same result up to a point. Although the difference here is instead of using tiles, this works on a per pixel level. So we have finer control. Instead of having to select a box size, you can just go ahead and select the pixel size, and it's a good alternative. So, and it can produce in some cases much better looking edges. Just something to know about. But in addition to that, there is the possibility of adding additional levels or iterations or frequencies to that to create some grayscale type effects. Um, and while this is uh, appealing to look at, it may not be necessarily realistic since a woodcut filter doesn't really produce grayscales. It just is an ink transfer process where you scrape out, you carve out bits of this block of wood, and then you put ink on it, and you press that down on your paper, and you get this ink transfer. So you wouldn't really get a grayscale. So there's a neat trick we can do here in Howler. And one thing you could do, of course, would just threshold that. And I'll go to adjust threshold, and you can see we can threshold that. But that gives us this one level. But what if you could have a level for every pixel on the screen? And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to threshold by using a pattern, and this is a quick wood pattern, wood texture pattern I made, and I'll just show you quickly how I made that. I just did some noise, plasma noise, or you could use random noise. Put the size, the scale way down. Use a little blur, like motion blur. Stretch it out like that. Just quickly do image and dynamic, expand dynamic range, and that will use up the full range of black and white. So that's it. That's all I had to do to create that. I'm going to keep that in the swap image. And now I will use filter, and instead of going to threshold, I'm going to go to combine with swap and binary. And lo and behold, we've done a threshold, but we use this swap image as the level for that threshold. And that gives us a pretty cool um, result for this ink transfer, this this wood block effect that we've done. It creates a sort of a wood texture inside of those grayscale levels that we had in there. And I'll do this on a color image just to make it a little more clear what we're doing. I'll go to filter, combine with swap and binary. And there you have it. It basically does the threshold, but using that texture as the threshold level. And that's another thing that can be used for artistic type effects, cartoonizing and creating artifacts. So good to know about. I'll save a copy of that. And there's a lot we can do with that now. As I said before, we've been messing around with these cartooning filters, and we can now use this to maybe combine it with this and create a I'm not even sure what that style would be, but it looks cool. Create some texture in an image, for example, or it could be a canvas texture, or it could look like you painted this on a piece of wood, or a something something that effect, or whatever your heart desires, really. But something to know about. And as I said before, you don't have to use a wood thing here. You could use, let me see. I think we have a sinusoidal texture here somewhere. If I can find it. It's been so long since I've used it, I'm not sure I can even find it. I think maybe it's a plugin. So let me try that. Should be in filter and sine wave. That's it. It's been a long time since I've used this one. Hit OK there. Maybe transform this. OK. Go here. Combine with binary. And lo and behold, you get a perfect halftone. So, very useful filter. You can basically create a halftone using any pattern that you want to. But that was using that sine wave um, filter. So good thing to know about. That's about all I have for now. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later.